Hey everyone, Internet PCS book reader here. Today I want to talk about Crying in Edgemart by Michelle Zauner. I know that this is one of the most popular memoirs that came out in recent years, but I did not know this is the memoir of the late artist of Japanese Breakfast, which I know is one of the most underrated indie pop band. I know that the debut album, for example, Psychopomp, is written while the main singer took care of her mom's cancer. Her sophomore album is dedicated to her grief from losing her mother, and her last album, Jubilee, is, I guess, her glow up, embracing all those pain and moving on to adulthood. Now, to be fair here, I only listened to them on Spotify, and I tried to go as plain as possible initially while reading a new book. I didn't even read the blurb at the back of the book until I am going to read the book. So I just now found out that it's from Japanese Breakfast, which if you haven't listened to, you should. Psychopomp might not be for everyone because of how rough around the edges it is, but you should give Soft Sound from Another Planet and Jubilee at least a try. Anyway, this is not an album review. That's for someone with better things to do. I'm here for Michelle's Junior book. The book elaborates more on the topic of the relationship between Michelle and her mother and why she cries often when she goes to H Marts. A bit of context. H Mart is basically a supermarket chain in America that specializes in Asian food. The book explained that the H stands for anaurum, a Korean phrase that translates roughly to one armful of groceries. It is important to notice because the book not only goes in depth about the memory that the author has with her mother's food, but also the memory that connects her to the Korean side of her mother, and of course also to her. The story starts when she was a kid and the relationship with her mother, trying to please her by tidying her house and showing what she did one by one, bravely eating foods that are only now people mostly realize that are good food despite the non-pleasant look, raiding their relative fridge together at Seoul for snacks late after midnight when they can't sleep. The author and her mother can be considered close when she was a kid, but she was a creative girl and her mother, for lack of a better word, is a 90s Asian mom, whose way of showing love is to try to control a chaotic world and her children's future. Add that with teenage years caused them to grow apart, figuratively and literally. The author moved to another state to become a struggling, inexperienced artist. It was during this time that she received news that her mother got a tumor. The story will then go on to tell us all the painful details that her mother had to go through and what it did to her and her family. It's a well-written memoir that didn't pull any punches. There's obviously some trigger warning for witnessing a loved one slowly dying from cancer and all that pain. So if you had a bad experience with that and don't want to re-experience it, I wouldn't suggest reading this because these experiences are very well written. And because it didn't pull any punches, the author also doesn't always look the best in the book. She sometimes makes mistakes, especially in how she treats the people around her and the things she said during the heights of her emotion. Let's just say she went for the jugular with how much pain she tried to give with words, which is part of being human, I guess, making these mistakes and realizing their mistakes so she can grow better and we can grow better. Also expected from a book written by a singer-songwriter, there's a lot of beautiful prose that had the vibe of Japanese breakfast lyrics. In another word, some of this I can see being blessed into her music instead of this book, but I'm glad they're here because they make the reading experience so much better. Here's a few examples. Words that were so familiar mixed with long blanks I couldn't fill in. I wanted to embody physical warning that if she began to disappear, I will disappear too. It was a small hand-carved wooden statue of a family, a father, a mother, and daughter holding one another. They were faceless, huddled close, connected as if we from the same piece of wood. From the moment of my life, there will be a splinter in my being, stinging from the moment my mother died until it was buried with me. And the book is filled with this quality writing. It is one of the most vulnerable memoirs I've read this year. There's actually not that much music involved besides some moments in the book. In total, maybe around 5 to 6 short mentions. And the most memorable one is only the part where she sang with her mother during a car drive together. Even the other older brand, Little Big Leagues, and her more successful one, Japanese Breakfast, was only mentioned one each. The most common appearance in the book, and what might have tied the story of the book together, is surprisingly food. There's a lot of things that involve food mentioned, the ingredients, the cooking, and the food itself. When she was a kid, when they visited her grandma in Korea, when she went out of her house, when her mother was sick, her travel with her father to Thailand to try and process their grief, etc. All these mention of food are not only because of the cultural context of them, but also because of the memory they evoke, the time and place she ate them, the people that she ate it with, and the situation that surrounds it. So besides Eat Smart, there's little moments like how to cook rice the Asian way, and a lot of very delicious Korean food involved. Honestly, I'm more often hungry than sad reading this book because of how well written they are. The book is actually getting a movie adaptation, and I hope to see these foods also makes an appearance sometime. If you like the Japanese breakfast band, I think you like this book for sure, because of how much the experience in this book ties to the album. But even if you never listen to Japanese breakfast or you just don't like their music, I don't think it matters, since these are not written to cater only to her audience. It's a very touching portrayal of mother and daughter relationship and the experience of being a mixed race that I think you should give a try. I give this a 4.5. What do you think? Are you gonna rate it? Did I miss anything? Leave your thoughts in the comment below and subscribe to the channel. That's about it.